Alright guys, it's Dokkan time again, and today we're going to be going over Boo and Metal Kula, as Toon Romney would say. They are a part of the Legendary Summon Carnival banner for Gohan specifically, so we're just going to try and make it pretty plain and obvious what you should rock for a hidden potential system. I'll try to give a 55% suggestion, but it's hard to say how 55% will go with some of these units, you know? Sometimes you absolutely need dupes, and then sometimes you just don't have an option. So, let's look at Boo. So, Boo is actually a very good unit. He can do a lot of damage, I gotta say. He can definitely do a lot of damage, to the point where, I would say he's best used in a gimmicky kind of state. You know, take advantage of his AoE on his 18 key super. He's raising attack and defense on both 12 and 18. He's got a chance to stun. I mean, you can really take advantage of some gimmicks with that with the AoE and stunning ability. Very good, fun unit. He does have an entrance animation that does go away after 4 turns. And honestly, after those 4 turns, he gets really... You'll feel a very large difference, because if you get him turn 1, you'll only get to... I mean, turn 1 or 2, it don't matter. On turn 2 or turn 4, that's it. Game over, you know? I mean, once they come back around on that 3rd time, he'll be completely gone. So, by the time you see him on turn 5 or 6... I mean, he's a liability like heck, man. Like, losing ki plus 5 and attack and defense 120. Now, the thing is, he does have attack and 20 as normal. He does have attack plus 90%, as long as he has 90% HP, and that ticks down by 30 every time you hit the margin of 30 HP, 60 HP, and 90% HP. You do have to have 90% HP to get defense plus 30% as well. He does have guard, though. He has 70% chance to guard. Once again, Dokkan devs, give us a notification for guard, man. He does guard all attacks when there's a Majin Buu or Fuse Fighter enemy, which is very good, especially if you take this guy into World Tournament. Most of the time, I mean, there's Vechitos, I mean, there's a bunch of different World Tournament-based units from the Majin Buu saga. I mean, fused fighters in general, Gotankses and everything. I mean, you're going to see those a lot. So he could definitely get his guard off quite a bit in a lot of instances. He does launch an additional attack, has a 50% chance of being a super within the same turn guard is activated. And then he gets more attack after he's been hit. He does get ki up to 7 and defense up to 140 from receiving attacks. So it's very imperative that you let him take normals as much as possible. Otherwise, once you lose that 120% from his intro, he's going to start feeling a little weak at that point. He does recover quite a bit of HP just from his active skill and from like Metamorphosis and Infinite Regeneration. All of those are going to give him a lot of HP recovery. Majin and... Man, Majin's the only good defense link, huh? Yeah, his best link partner is probably going to be the STR Easy A Boo. Otherwise, he doesn't have too many good partners. So, just with everything that I just listed out, I'm going to 100% go with crit and additional. Crit to just get that 18 key off, so you can take advantage of the gimmickiness of it. You know, in short-term fights, burst modes, world tournaments, super battle roads, a lot of these random events and mission-based things, this Boo could be very, very useful in. And I would highly suggest capitalizing on the crit for that. On the other hand, I also suggest putting in dodge, just because he is not that amazing defensively. He can be solid. He can be solid defensively. Maybe not in the new meta defensively, but in old meta, other mission-based stuff, I mean, I think dodge would be the best bet for him other than crit. If you disagree with this, I don't really have another build for you, in all honesty. I don't think we've seen the max capacity of this Boo. This Boo does not have a 200% leader. He doesn't have a perfect team. He doesn't have a perfect partner. I think we can see more out of this unit. But I think giving him dodge and crit is the safest option for both worlds of the preparing for the future and for right now of using him. Personally, I'm going to give him crit, and then I'm going to give him additional if I get dupes of him. At 55%, he's already got 5 additional. It's not a lot. He's got additional built in with them too. But yeah, just do your best. If you think dodge is preferable, go for it. But honestly, I want to give him as much crit as possible so I can take advantage of that huge amount of damage he can potentially do. And not to mention World Tournament, which if anybody watches my content, you know that I go hard. I go a little hard onto the whole World Tournament thing, and I think I would enjoy using this guy in that content. So, but anyways, let's move on to the next unit, which is going to be the Metal Cooler, as Toon Rami would say. So this boy, he's a little different. Now, this is going to be a very controversial take on him, and by all means, you can argue with it, and you can take it as you want. But as of right now, and when I've had him, even when I've had a double leader with him, I want additional and dodge into him. I'm not even going to read through his passive just yet. I'm going to just tell you straight up off the bat. Crit isn't enough. I don't feel enough of the crit in him. Like every time I've seen a 200% Metal Cooler crit, it just doesn't do enough for me. It just doesn't. I feel like there's other Wicked Bloodline characters you can put onto his team that can take that role of doing damage, like LR Final Form Cooler, or like even some of the other Metal Coolers can do some decent damage. Now, it's not to say crit is a bad idea to put into him, but I will say that I feel like with how weak he is and the way he's designed, that he's built to be like, yeah, I should probably just kind of be on the sidelines. Because he does raise defense on Super, on both 18 and 12, and he greatly lowers attack. So 12 keys additionals will give him a 30% additional defense and will greatly lower the enemy's attack, which is great. But I mean, he's recovering HP here up to 20% if your HP is 50% or less. I mean, he's got key +2 attack and defense +30, which is not a lot. Defense boost is only based on your HP, so less HP means less defense. That's not a good thing. He's got extra key up to 4 and defense up to 60 with each attack received, so he does need to get hit 4 times to get that maximum buff. And then he's got more HP recovery, more HP recovery. He's got a nullification for 70%. He's got a revive, but he has to be the one to die. So, I mean, that is also the caveat of giving him dodge, is that if you're at a low enough HP threshold where you would rather die and he dodges that attack, that could be really, really, really bad. And I would be very terrified of that instance. But he also greatly raises attack and recovers more HP. So, I mean, honestly, I view this guy as a kind of supportive unit, and I don't feel like he's going to do a whole bunch of damage. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of damage in here. He's got 130, 60, and that's it. I mean, yeah, he's got big bad bosses, which is fantastic. He's got Nightmare and Thirst for Conquest. I mean, your normal Fierce Battle and Legendary Power. But, I mean, I really don't think you'll see an absurd amount of damage with him. You could see a very good amount, obviously, with the massively raising attack. Once again, I can see the argument for crit, and I would not blame you whatsoever if you have if you have a rainbow possibility of rainbowing this guy. I wouldn't blame you at all if you put some, like, 9 crit into him. Wouldn't blame you at all. But I would say that you're wasting the possible savior of an additional going off and just barely being enough defense to make sure you either don't die from normals. Because, I mean, like, this guy's kind of close to a Trunk status, where he's just like, yes, he can be very good, but at the same time, he's not. Yeah. Okay, the Trunks was a little rude. I was saying that I comparing him a little bit to the Trunks of this worldwide download, because he was basically kind of a amazing unit, but at the same time, he was also very much kind of hated on last year's worldwide download. And it's just because he just didn't seem that impressive overall. He is good for what he's good at, and I think at this point, he's a very hard supportive unit for getting a revive off, for recovering HP, and just kind of being that tanky, supportive unit in general. So, my personal opinion, you should go a full additional or full dodge build, somewhere of a mixture in there, whatever you feel comfortable for using the Meta Cooler. Go into some fights before you even give him the hidden potential. You know, just don't activate all the extra nodes yet. Test him out, feel out what you think he needs. Do you think he needs that additional to go up? Do you want some more damage out of him, put him in crit? This is one of those units, as of right now, you could kind of build him how you want a little bit, but I still feel like you should go for a more defensive build with additional and dodge. So, but anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. This pair of units was a little bit more difficult for me. They're more controversial kind of units on how to build them. I don't regret what I said about Super Boo. Super Boo definitely wants crit and give him dodge. And this cooler, I'm saying additional and dodge 100%. So, anyways, guys, let me know how you build these two units, and I hope you have a good day and a good night.